Okay, guys, today we're going to talk about ratio tables. And all a ratio table is a proportion put inside of a box. So I could take, get a different color here. I could take this part right here and rewrite it like that. And that's exactly the same thing we did on Tuesday. So don't, just because it looks different, do you think you need to do something different? All a ratio table is a proportion inside of a box. I'm going to get rid of all this, sorry. Okay, so if it's a proportion inside of a box, just put this back, I'm sorry. Just like we would have said this times this, which is 120. So 8 times D has to equal 120. Same thing here. 40 times 3 equals 120. So 8 times D has to equal 120. So I'm going to write what this arrow says right here. 8 times D has to equal 120. To solve for D, I have to get rid of that 8. To get rid of that 8, I do the opposite. The opposite of multiplying by 8 is to divide by 8. These cancel out, leave me with D, which stands for dogs, by itself. And whatever I do to the left side, I've got to do to the right. So I say 120 divided by 8, which is 15. Now, when we did them like this, they didn't have any meaning. That's not just 15 now. That 15 would go right here. So that stands for 15 dogs. D, the variable D, stands for dogs. The variable has meaning now. Okay, so the same thing here. I know that 1 times 210 equals 210. So H times 70 has to equal 210. So I'm going to write that. H times 70 has to equal 210. I got that from that arrow right there, following that arrow. So instead of multiplying by 70, I do the opposite and divide by 70. Those cancel out. Leaves me with H. If I divide the left side by 70, then I divide the right side by 70. So 210 divided by 70 is 3. So that 3, whoops. Oh, it's a picture. I can't take away from that. Sorry. That would be 3 hours. So that would stand for 3 hours. So a ratio table is just a proportion inside of a box.